Pay attention to the girl in the gray sweatshirt walking through the Philadelphia bus terminal. Her name is Ashley Carmichael. She's 15 years old. She's carrying a small backpack decorated with enamel pins. Inside, a change of clothes, her phone charger, and $40 in cash her grandmother gave her for emergencies. She's checking her phone every few seconds, smiling at messages no one else can see. Ashley believes she's meeting her best friend for the first time, a girl named Morgan she'd met on a mental health support forum 8 months earlier. They'd bonded over anxiety, family struggles, and shared music tastes. Morgan had been there through Ashley's worst panic attacks. Morgan understood her in ways no one at school ever had. Now, pay attention to the person approaching her near the food court entrance. Within 2 hours, Ashley's phone would be powered off and discarded in a dumpster 17 miles away. Within 4 hours, her grandmother would file a missing persons report. Within 6 hours, investigators would discover that Morgan didn't exist. This wasn't a friendship, it was a trap. Ashley Carmichael was a sophomore at Thomas Edison High School in the Philadelphia suburbs. She was quiet in class, kept to herself at lunch, and spent most of her free time in her bedroom with headphones on. Her grandmother, Barbara Carmichael, who had raised Ashley since she was 7, described her as sensitive and thoughtful. Ashley struggled with anxiety and had been in therapy on and off since middle school. Like many teenagers, Ashley lived a significant portion of her life online. Her Instagram was private. Her TikTok was mostly saved videos, not posted content. But on a mental health support forum called Teen Space, Ashley was active. She posted under the username GraySkies15 and contributed to threads about anxiety management, school stress, and family issues. In March, another user named MorganSpeaks22 had responded to one of Ashley's posts with empathy and understanding. The two began messaging privately. Morgan claimed to be 17, living in Wilmington, Delaware. She was homeschooled due to health issues. She loved the same indie music as Ashley. She also struggled with anxiety. Over 8 months, the two exchanged thousands of messages. Morgan was always available, always supportive, always understanding in ways Ashley felt her grandmother, her therapist, and her school counselor never were. On November 8th, Morgan suggested they meet in person, just for the day. Philadelphia was halfway between them. They could hang out at Reading Terminal Market, maybe get food, walk around. Just two friends finally meeting face to face. Ashley was nervous, but excited. She'd never had a friendship this close. She'd certainly never had a friend who understood her the way Morgan did. She told her grandmother she was spending the day studying at a classmate's house. Barbara Carmichael had no reason not to believe her. At 11:47 a.m. on November 8th, Ashley Carmichael stepped off a SEPTA bus at the Market East Terminal in downtown Philadelphia. Security cameras captured her checking her phone, then looking around the crowded terminal. She appeared nervous, but not distressed. At 11:52 a.m., someone approached her. The surveillance footage shows a person in a black jacket. The person appeared androgynous, shoulder-length dark hair, average height, no distinguishing features visible on camera. Ashley's face lit up with recognition. She smiled. They hugged briefly. The two walked together toward the terminal exit. At 12:03 p.m., they left the building and headed toward Market Street. This was the last confirmed sighting of Ashley Carmichael on any public surveillance system. She never made it to Reading Terminal Market. She never sent another message to anyone. Her phone's last known location was pinged at 12:47 p.m. near an industrial area in Kensington. Then it went dark. Barbara Carmichael expected Ashley home by 6 o'clock p.m. When 6:30 passed with no word, she called Ashley's phone. It went straight to voicemail. By 7:03 p.m., Barbara called the classmate's house where Ashley claimed to be studying. The mother who answered was confused. Ashley had never been there. The classmate barely knew who Ashley was. Barbara felt her stomach drop. She called again, and again. The phone remained off. At 8:15 p.m., Barbara Carmichael called the Philadelphia Police Department to report her granddaughter missing. She provided photos, physical description, and the last known information she had. The officer taking the report asked standard questions. Had Ashley run away before? No. Did she have a boyfriend? Not that Barbara knew of. Any mental health issues? Anxiety. In treatment. The officer noted that most missing teens return within 24 hours. Barbara knew in her bones this was different. Ashley never broke rules. Ashley never lied. Ashley always called. Detective Lauren Vasquez of the Philadelphia Police Department's Special Victims Unit caught the case the following morning. A missing 15-year-old with no history of running away, no recent conflicts at home, and a phone that had been off for nearly 24 hours. Vasquez requested Ashley's phone records and social media access immediately. Barbara provided everything: passwords, login information, full cooperation. She wanted her granddaughter found. The digital forensics team began combing through Ashley's online activity. Her Instagram showed nothing unusual. Her TikTok was mostly consumed content, not posted. But her account on Teen Space revealed thousands of messages with a user named Morgan Speaks 22. The messages painted a picture of a deepening friendship. Morgan was supportive, caring, understanding. The conversations were appropriate for months. Discussions of school, music, anxiety coping strategies. Then, gradually, Morgan began sharing more personal details. Photos of her room, voice messages, a photo of her face, a teenage girl with dark hair and glasses. The forensics team ran the image through reverse search databases. The photo had been stolen from a private Instagram account belonging to a college student in Oregon. The girl in the photo had no connection to the case and no idea her image had been used. Morgan was not who she claimed to be. Tracking Morgan Speaks 22 became the investigation's priority. The TeenSpace platform cooperated immediately, providing IP address logs for the account. The results were concerning. The account had been accessed from multiple locations: public libraries, coffee shops with free Wi-Fi, shopping mall food courts, all in the Philadelphia area. Not Wilmington, Delaware, as Morgan had claimed. The suspect had been careful, never logged in from home, never from a traceable device, always from public locations with no surveillance footage or anonymous public computers. But the forensic team found one mistake. On September 23rd, Morgan Speaks 22 had logged in at 2:34 a.m. from a residential IP address in the Kensington neighborhood of Philadelphia. The connection lasted only 6 minutes. Likely, the suspect realized the error and immediately switched back to public Wi-Fi. That IP address belonged to an apartment building on East Somerset Street, 12 units. The investigation now had a geographic focus. Detective Vasquez and her team canvassed the building on November 10th. Most residents were cooperative but had nothing useful to report. No one recognized Ashley's photo. No one recalled seeing anything unusual on November 8th. Unit 7 stood out. No one answered when police knocked. Building management confirmed the unit was leased to a tenant named Jordan Keller, age 29, who worked nights as a freelance graphic designer. The lease had been signed 14 months earlier. No prior criminal record. No red flags. Vasquez obtained a search warrant based on the IP address evidence and the suspicious lack of response. On November 11th at 6:00 a.m., a tactical team executed the warrant. Jordan Keller answered the door in sweatpants and a t-shirt, appearing genuinely confused by the presence of armed officers. The apartment was small and cluttered: computer equipment, art supplies, takeout containers. Keller claimed to work from home and had no idea why police were there. The search took 4 hours. In a locked storage closet, forensic technicians found 3 laptops, 2 external hard drives, and a folder containing printed screenshots of social media profiles. All teenage girls, all from the Philadelphia area. One of those profiles belonged to Ashley Carmichael. On one of the hard drives, investigators found the entire message history between Morgan Speaks 22 and Gray Skies 15. They also found conversations with 6 other teenagers under different usernames. Jordan Keller had been cultivating multiple fake friendships simultaneously. The interrogation room at the Special Victims Unit was small and windowless. Jordan Keller sat across from Detective Vasquez with an attorney present. Keller said almost nothing for the first 2 hours. Then Vasquez placed a photo of Ashley Carmichael on the table. Keller's attorney asked for a moment alone with the client. When they returned, Keller made a statement. Yes, Keller had created the Morgan persona. Yes, Keller had met Ashley on November 8th, but Ashley had left voluntarily after an hour. They'd gotten lunch, talked, and then Ashley said she needed to go. Keller claimed to have no idea what happened to her after that. The timeline didn't match. Ashley's phone had pinged in Kensington nearly an hour after the bus terminal meeting. The industrial area where the signal originated was 6 blocks from Keller's apartment. Vasquez asked where Ashley was now. Keller refused to answer. The forensic team was already executing a second search warrant, this time on a storage unit Keller had rented in August under a business name. The unit was in an industrial complex in Kensington, near where Ashley's phone had last pinged. At 4:30 p.m. on November 11th, investigators cut the lock on storage unit 347. Inside, they found a makeshift living space, a camping cot, bottled water, canned food, restraints attached to a metal support beam, a portable heater, a bucket in the corner. They also found Ashley Carmichael. She was alive. She was restrained. She was terrified. But she was alive. Paramedics arrived within minutes. Ashley was dehydrated, hypothermic, and in shock. She couldn't speak when they first reached her. Her lips were blue, and she was shivering uncontrollably despite the portable heater. Detective Vasquez rode with her in the ambulance. Ashley's first words were a whisper. Morgan lied about everything. Ashley Carmichael spent 3 days in the hospital recovering from dehydration, mild hypothermia, and psychological trauma. She gave her statement to police on November 14th with her grandmother and a trauma counselor present. The meeting on November 8th had started normally. Morgan, who Ashley now knew as Jordan Keller, had seemed friendly at first. They'd walked from the bus terminal toward what Keller claimed was a cafe where they could talk. But the destination kept changing. Just a little further, just around this corner. When they reached a quiet industrial street, Keller had pulled out a stun gun. Ashley remembered the shock, the confusion, the terror. She remembered being forced into a vehicle. She remembered waking up in darkness, restrained and alone. Keller had visited the storage unit twice a day, morning and night. Had brought food and water. Had told Ashley that this was temporary, that Ashley would understand eventually, that they had a connection. Keller spoke about loneliness, about rejection, about the impossibility of real friendship. Ashley had been held for 72 hours. The forensic examination of Keller's devices revealed a pattern of obsessive behavior, stretching back years. Keller had created dozens of fake personas across multiple platforms. Most of the relationships remained online. But investigators found evidence that Ashley wasn't the first in-person meeting. 2 other teenagers, both from the Philadelphia area, had reported uncomfortable in-person meetings with online friends in the previous year. Both encounters had ended with the teenagers leaving quickly after feeling unsafe. Neither had reported the incidents as crimes, only as creepy experiences. Both girls identified Jordan Keller from a photo array as the person they'd met. Ashley had been the first Keller had actually abducted. Jordan Keller was charged with kidnapping, unlawful restraint, aggravated assault, endangering the welfare of a child, and multiple counts related to online exploitation of minors. The prosecution built a methodical case using digital forensics, surveillance footage, victim testimony, and physical evidence from the storage unit. The defense argued diminished capacity. Keller's attorneys presented evidence of severe social anxiety, childhood trauma, and untreated mental health conditions. They claimed Keller had genuinely believed these online relationships were real friendships and had not intended to harm anyone. The prosecution countered with the evidence of planning and premeditation. The fake personas, the stolen photos, the rented storage unit, the restraints, the stun gun. These were not the actions of someone confused about friendship. These were the calculated steps of a predator. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Ashley testified on the 8th day. She was composed and clear. She described the 8 months of online manipulation, the gradual building of trust, the excitement of meeting a friend. The moment that excitement turned to terror. The jury deliberated for 9 hours. Jordan Keller was found guilty on all counts. At sentencing, the judge noted the severity of the psychological manipulation involved. Keller had exploited Ashley's vulnerability, her loneliness, her need for connection. The sentence reflected that betrayal: 32 years in state prison with no possibility of parole for 20 years. Barbara Carmichael read a victim impact statement on behalf of her granddaughter. She described the girl who had left her house on November 8th, anxious but hopeful, excited to meet a friend. She described the girl who returned, traumatized, withdrawn, afraid of her own phone. She thanked the investigators who had worked around the clock. She thanked the forensic team who had found the digital trail. Then she said something that stayed with everyone in the courtroom. "My granddaughter thought she was making a friend. She was being hunted." Ashley Carmichael continues in intensive therapy for complex PTSD. She graduated from high school in 2024, but completed her senior year through an online program. She no longer uses social media. She no longer participates in online forums. Barbara Carmichael became an advocate for online safety education. She speaks at schools and community centers about the warning signs of predatory online behavior. She emphasizes that her granddaughter did nothing wrong. Ashley was a lonely teenager looking for connection in a digital age. That's not a crime, that's adolescence. The TeenSpace platform implemented stricter verification protocols and mandatory reporting systems for suspicious activity. The case prompted Pennsylvania to pass new legislation requiring social media platforms to implement enhanced protections for minor users. The storage unit on East Somerset Street has been rented to someone else. The contents were destroyed as evidence after the trial concluded, but the building's owner installed additional security cameras and lighting. A small gesture. A reminder. Ashley's backpack, the gray one with enamel pins, sits in an evidence locker. It will remain there until all appeals are exhausted. Inside are the clothes she'd packed for a day trip with a friend, the phone charger she never used, the $40 her grandmother gave her for emergencies. Those belong to her. They always have. Detective Lauren Vasquez keeps a photo on her desk. It's not of the crime scene or the storage unit. It's the bus terminal surveillance image from 11:47 a.m. on November 8th. A 15-year-old girl checking her phone, looking for a friend. Vasquez looks at it when cases drag on, when leads go cold, when the work feels impossible. It reminds her why the work matters. Ashley Carmichael survived. That's what matters most.